Silver has changed the rules again, and China is still at the center of everything, and the new limits that were put on silver will send shockwaves through the whole silver market. As we look around, let's talk about what happened. The price of silver might go down today. I'm back with another Friday battle. But you should know that silver prices have dropped more than 3%. It really did drop to $86.84 today. It went back up above $90, but it is now very close to that level. That being said, this will change in a big way next Sunday night. It's also been a fun time every Sunday night when the Asian shops open. This station has always been there to cover the Asian markets as they open. I hope you'll join me then as we try to figure out what's going on, especially since there are new rules. What are these brand new rules? So, the Shanghai Futures Exchange just did something that a lot of people think is dishonest. I can't help but wonder what their real goal was, besides lowering instability. And it makes sense that they would do this there, since the Shanghai market is much more connected to real metal than the COMEX. It's going to be big, though. It is really important to note that drawback. What does that limit mean? Well, it's because of positioning that the minimum opening trade size for silver futures during the day has been lowered from 7,000 lots to 3,000 lots. This will start to work on the night session of January 19th, 2026. So, as of the time this video was made, today, January 16th, is the last day here. The night session of January 19th will start with the new rules in place. This means that the Asian markets could see a lot of activity when they open. They have one more day, though, because the new rules go into full force on January 20th. In light of the instability caused by China's new physical silver export curves, which began on January 1st, this is done to stop speculation. Because of this, that's what will happen. This is what will happen on January 20th night session. The cut will be limited from 7,000 lots to 3,000 lots. As a result, this will also have an effect on the nickel markets. This comes after trade margins and price limits were raised from 16% to 16%. Aims to keep the volume of trades on the Shanghai futures market stable and avoid big changes. However, speculative trades may be sent to the COMEX, where open interest has grown 20% year over year. The CME has now tied gains in margins to a theoretical percentage of the trades that are happening there, if we know what they did over there. That is a new rule. But so far, it hasn't had a big effect on the price of silver going down. Whenever prices go down, though, that's when you should look for chances to buy. You can buy or sell silver at Summit Metals, which is owned by my friends. Click on the link at the end of the explanation to see for yourself how great their customer service is. Take a moment to think about this. Things could get worse for traders on the COMEX in the US if these volumes from the Shanghai futures market that are stabilizing make things worse. People go there and buy things. We'll see about that. And according to figures from the CFTC, this open interest is up 20% year over year. Now, worldwide, silver spot prices hovering above $80 an ounce, between 80 and 89. In fact, the number to look for at the start of this week was $80. As I write this, the spot prices are about $9.50 more than that. The markets are about to close. We're now just 50 cents short of $90 an ounce. So the big changes we've seen from day to day have been pretty small so far, and the price of silver has kept going up. At this point, it looks like it will hit 90 again. Actually, I still believe that silver will reach $100. This could cause a lot of trouble for two big banks, and I talked about this in a video that I'll link to at the end of this presentation. All around, the markets are down today. Gold has lost 72% of its value, or $33.30. Silver is down $39. That's more than 3%. As we already said, silver is down 4.4% or $106, but it's still more than $2,300 an ounce. Palladium is down 1.72% as well. That's $31,906 less than it was. This kind of move is now interesting. I believe that what the Shanghai Futures Exchange did will lead to a rise in the price. Limiting these, I guess, we can see the change. People are going to buy in a hurry. I believe that it might have an effect, at least in the short term. It might take a while for the result you want to happen. I believe that once it does, it might change the rules again. But I believe that other markets will experience big changes. Now, One more thought. Some of the ways this language has been interpreted have been very interesting. Bob Coleman said that the way things are set up at the exchanges is an attempt to keep the market from getting too chaotic. He said this because there have been so many buyers and sellers in the physical markets carrying around these 15-kilogram bars of silver, or silver slabs. In that place, they call it raw silver slabs. And the price has been trading easily above $100 an ounce in China. This is what we're seeing, a gap between the East and the West. Because of this, the COMEX and the Shanghai futures market know how important it is for their members to manage risk and volatility. Volatility is not what you want. You don't want to be caught red-handed or losing money or putting a lot of stress on the markets and themselves. I can see why that would be the case, but why are some people asking it? Why not just raise margins until they reach 100%? Then anyone can buy as much as they want. But according to the Happy Hawaiian, they have to have the money to take delivery. That may not be the whole story though, because there are many things that come into play when you raise those gaps. In a way, I think it's a good idea for this kind of market to have it tied to a share of the spot price. Too long has it been unstable. The things we're seeing now did not happen in 1981 or 1980. In this case, things are very different because it has been going up for a longer time, staying up and moving up even more for a longer time. We also know that the COMEX and Shanghai markets are not the same. COMEX is mostly made up of words on paper. Hong Kong is much farther away from the real market, even though they also have futures. There are still a lot of troubles there. That, and there's still a lot of risk in both China and the COMEX. This is the kind of thing we're seeing. But when you look at these lots, and it works well with nickels too, that means other metals are also affected. I think that the restrictions on imports that we are seeing are part of what is going on, but they are not enough. As of now, the Shanghai Futures Exchange has made this move, it sounds like. But when the markets start on Sunday night, it will be very interesting to see how the metals do. Also, what happens on the night of the 19th will be very interesting. Yes, I believe there will be some volatility, and it's likely that volatility will rise as more people expect this to happen. Also, the COMEX may react with a positive price move, which could be enough to send silver prices through the roof, at least for a short time, to $100 an ounce. Prices may drop a bit because of all these other limits that may take time to have an effect on the markets. This could be the start of the end of the bull market, but I think this bull could go up even more before it turns around, as well as how the markets and supply lines work between the COMEX vaults in New York, Shanghai, and London play a big role. All of those things will need to find a way to balance out again. On the whole, I think they want equilibrium if you look at the situation honestly. But even so, there are still fundamental problems with silver as a whole that will cause prices to rise and stay high. On top of that, there is inflation, which is what is really going on and is keeping silver prices high. But this is very interesting news, and it will be interesting to see where the silver market goes from here. Feel free to tell me what you think in the area below. I hope this movie was interesting, helpful, and educational for you. I work hard to bring you the most up-to-date news about valuable metals. So if you like what I do here and are new, I hope you will think about following, hitting the thumbs up button below, and the notification bell so that you can be notified when the new video comes out on your device. That being said, I want to thank you all very much for watching and ask that you please rate, share, review, and subscribe.